The Roman Empire will always be remembered as one of history's greatest dominions. From its establishment a while after Octavian's defeat of Mark Antony at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, until its collapse in 1453 with the fall of Constantinople to the Ottomans. But across all those centuries, there's bound to be some emperors whose histories we don't remember. The reigns of Silbannacus and Sponsianus, emperors, fleeting and mysterious, lost to the chaos of the crisis of the 3rd century. The crisis of the 3rd century was a period of relentless instability between 235 and 284. Rome, once a colossus, was now a fractured state beset by barbarian invasions, economic collapse, and internal power struggles. All it took to be crowned emperor was to simply claim you were. Emperors rose and fell at an alarming rate, often reigning for mere months before being assassinated or usurped. It was an era defined by warlords, pretenders, and a desperate struggle to maintain the empire's integrity. Amid this turmoil, we find rise to the enigmatic figures of Silbannacus and Sponsianus. Unlike the well-documented emperors of Rome, their existence is known only through scattered numismatic evidence, coins bearing their names, hinting at their brief claims to power. Silbannacus remains an obscure figure, with little more than 2 silver coins to testify to his rule. Based on the iconography and inscriptions of the first coin found in the 1930s, scholars originally speculate that he may have been a short-lived usurper, possibly in Gaul or Britannia during the mid-250s. Historian Felix Hartmann and Maxwell Craven speculate that Silbannacus was Celtic because of the suffix of his name Acus, which is only found about Gallic and British tribes. However, based on the design of the second coin, a new hypothesis arose that Silbannacus was actually a legitimate ruler, who briefly ruled Rome between the death of Aemilian and the succession by Valerian. Argument for those who claim he was a legitimate ruler arose after the 1980 coin was found, in which people argued that his name might have been a misspelling of Silvanacus or Silvaniacus, names of northern Italian origin derived from the Roman Force god Silvanus. The inscriptions of the coin read, Imp Mar Silbannacus Avc. The Imp and Avc mean Imperator and Augustus, but Mar remains unknown to this day, as that was a common abbreviation for many nomens at the time, such as Marcus, Marcius, and Marius. This was a time when the empire was fragmenting. Galenius, co-emperor with his father Valerian, was desperately trying to hold the western provinces, while Valerian himself was waging war against the Persian king Shapur I. It is likely that Silbannacus was a military commander who attempted to carve out control amidst the chaos, but was swiftly crushed and erased from history. His coin, a rare and tantalizing artifact, suggests he may have briefly controlled a region. Yet the absence of further records implies his bid for power was either isolated to only a small region or a complete failure. Sponsianus, on the other hand, remains an even greater enigma. Coins bearing his name surfaced in the 18th century, initially dismissed as forgeries, but now reconsidered by some modern scholars in light of new analyses. As for why his existence is controversial, every single coin that has his name is a double Ari, coins which were highly unusual for this period. The coins are also unusually heavy, which gives some reason to believe that they were cast instead of struck. On top of that, Sponsianus' name is given in the genitive case, with his coins reading Imperators Sponsiani, when it was usually given on nominative on the other coins of other emperors. The coin side opposite of his face has a copy of inscriptions from denarii struck during the Roman Republic in 135 BC. All of these pointed at the coins being forgeries. As for where the name Sponsianus comes from, it was a Roman name, although unimaginably rare, which was derived from spondere, which meant pledge or promise. The coins are genuine. They suggest he may have ruled during the 260s, likely in Dacia, a Roman province on the brink of abandonment due to constant invasions by the Goths and Carthage. On top of that, there was the devastating plague of Cyprian, raging across the Mediterranean and Balkans, which is estimated to have killed 5,000 people a day in Rome and dropped the city of Alexandria's population from 500k to 190k. A common theory suggests that Sponsianus was a local military leader who declared himself emperor to maintain order in a region of Rome that could no longer effectively be governed. By this time, Emperor Aurelian had begun consolidating Rome's overstretched defenses, and Dacia was becoming increasingly indefensible. The historian Jesper Eriksson is quoted stating that he was in charge to maintain control of the military and of the civilian population because they were surrounded and completely cut off. In order to create a functioning economy in the province, they decided to mint their own coins. If Sponsianus indeed ruled there, he was acting out of necessity, asserting imperial authority in an attempt to maintain stability, as the official Roman administration withdrew. This was not uncommon, as many far-flung areas of the empire were left to defend for themselves, with Dacia in particular being abandoned in the 270s and leaving behind 2 legions. However, Sponsianus' reign, if it ever truly occurred, was likely brief, either ending through internal conflicts, Sponsianus' lack of interest in expansion, or because of Dacia's abandonment by Rome, which cut it off from a vital source of resources. Of course, it is worth mentioning that these are just 2 of the near infinite number of forgotten names who vied for power during Rome's history. However, both Silbannacus and Sponsianus are emblematic of their time, warlords and opportunists rising in desperate attempts to secure stability, only to be swallowed by the same chaos that had allowed for their brief ascensions. Their reigns, whether real or not, serve as reminders of the fragmentation and volatility that defined the crisis of the 3rd century. Unlike the great emperors of Rome, their legacies are uncertain and lost to time, their ambitions buried under the ruins of an empire struggling to hold itself together. Yet their coins, small metallic echoes of their possible reigns, remind us of the many other forgotten figures who momentarily grasped at power during Rome's darkest hour.